Gibble the Goblin has a problem by Cattywampus. Gibble the Goblin had a problem. He didn't know how to talk. He could squeak, he could squawk, he could even balk, but he didn't know how to talk. One day, while walking in the valley of Vey, he saw a boy with a toy, and he wanted to play. But this poor little goblin did not know what to say, so all that came out was,
"Plickety-plockety-play!"
"Poor little Gibble." Next, he walked along the river of Bass. He saw a stone bridge and wanted to pass, but this poor little goblin did not know how to ask, so all that came out was,
"Plickety-plockety-plas!"
naughty little Gibble. Later that night, in the mountains of Might, he saw some food and wanted a bite, but this poor little goblin did not know what was right, so all that came out was,
"Plickety-plockety-plite!"
hungry little Gibble. Our poor little goblin had a big problem. He couldn't get what he wanted, and he didn't know why. So he put his head in his hands, and he started to cry. But then, who should whiz over, flying by in the sky? Why, a fabulous young wizard, whose name was just Gizzard, and he could tell something was wrong. He looked down below to the swamps of Muckmire, and he could see down below that poor little crier. With one little look, he knew right away. He knew what the problem was, and he knew what to say. Trouble talking to people? Well, from what I have heard, it's really quite simple. You need only one word. 'Tis a magical word with magical power, and it will open the world just like a flower. People who hear it are much more agreeable, and then, my friend, things are much more foreseeable. To get what you want with the greatest of ease, you need only one word, and that word is, please. It's easy to use. It's easy to say. You don't need much practice. You can start right away. In a sentence, you can put it at the front or the end, and you can use this word with strangers or friends. Don't be shy. Amply apply. You'll have far less refusals, and therefore less reason to cry. And if you're ever in trouble, don't scream and don't yelp. With this marvelous word, it's easy to get help. Also, in addition to please, there's another thing to say. To sound more polite, you can always use may. May I have that, please? Or please, may I? It's really quite useful. Just give it a try. So now I think you're ready for the final test. Now I think you're ready to make a polite request. And so Gizzard took Gibble to all the places from before. But now it was different, because now he knew more. First they returned to the valley of Vey. Gibble saw the toy with which he had wanted to play. But now the boy shared it, because Gibble knew what to say. Next they went back to the river of Bass, and Gibble saw the bridge he had wanted to pass. But Lagoon didn't get angry, because Gibble knew how to ask. And as they approached the mountains of Might, they both got hungry and wanted a bite. But now they got food, because Gibble knew what was right. Gibble felt great. He felt so good inside. He now knew how to talk. He didn't have to hide. He jumped into the air with a whoop and a shout. He took all those good feelings and let them shout out. It had been a long and successful day. Yet now it seemed that the wizard had something more to say. "Gibble, you're a polite little fella now. That's perfectly true. But once you get what you've asked for, there's something more to do. And that is, of course, to say a great big thank you. Now, from what I've told you, from what you now know, being polite is the only way to go. So listen up, Gibble. Gibble? Now where did you go?" Gibble the Goblin quietly crept away. He felt he had learned quite enough for one day. He knew what was important, and he knew what to say. But now all he wanted was to go out and play. So he decided to save the next lesson for another day. The end? What a cute story! Did you notice anything about the wizard's shirt? If you didn't, you might want to go back and watch this video again. It's quite amusing. Thank you for watching.